All right, hey everybody. Today we're going to be plotting points on a graph and creating a table of XY coordinates from graphs. All right, so we're going to create a graph from the table below. So a couple important things to remember are that we have our X values, which are going to work with our X axis. And then we also have our Y values, which we're going to work with our Y axis. Whoops. And that one didn't want to get straight for me. Which we're going to work with our Y-axis. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is remember every one of these we start at 0. All right, that's going to be our origin. So you guys have all seen a coordinate pair before, a coordinate point. Right, it's going to be parenthesis x comma y. So we're going to have something very similar here where it's x comma y. X comma y, x comma y, x comma y, so forth. Now, if you were so inclined, you could rewrite these as -6, -3, -2, 2, so forth, right? But because they're here already, I'm just going to keep it simple. So when I have a negative x value, I need to go left on my x-axis because that's where my negative values are. Now I'm going to go left 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I'm just going to kind of chill here for a second. Now I know that I have a negative value for my y, which means that I'm going to have to go down my y-axis because that's where my negative values are. So I'll go down 1, 2, 3. And here's where my point will be. Okay, so that would be this point. If I want to do my next one, I'm going to go -2 for my x, which will be start from the origin, 1, 2. Then I'm going to go up 1, 2. And I'll apply my point right there. And you can also call, like when a point crosses or is plotted where those two numbers cross, where this -2 and this +2 cross, we like to call that almost like an integral point. That's where two integers cross. So -2 crosses with 2. All right, so that's going to be that point. Now I have 1 for x, it's positive, so I go to the right, 1. And I have 3 for y, which will be up 3 because it's positive, 1, 2, and 3. Then for my fourth point, I have 4 and 0. Now this one's where it gets a little tricky. So remember your x goes first. So we're going 1, 2, 3, 4. But we don't have any, we have 0 for y. So we don't have to go up or down. So it's just going to stay right on that x-axis. All right, so that was that point. And the last point is going to be 5 and 8. So your x, so your coordinate pair, coordinate point is 5, 8. We know this is our x, this is our y. So something else that I heard is that we want to kind of remember that we're going to walk to the elevator, right? We're going to walk to the elevator. So that's why you're doing your x first. You're walking across the x-axis, and you get on your elevator, and you go up and down on the y-axis. So again, we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to the right. Now we're getting to our elevator. We need to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 up. And that would be your point right there. All right, something else to note. If you are asked a question about quadrants, remember this is your first quadrant. This is your second quadrant. This is your third quadrant. And this will be your fourth. All right, so now we're going to go backwards. So now we're going from a graph to a table. So we have to create our table. So what I think the easiest way to do is just to look at your point. Do your x first. So it's kind of like we're going a little bit backwards in one way to think about it. So if we want to find our x value, we need to find out which number this point correlates to on the x-axis. right? And remember, this is going to be, I'll do this one more time. This is going to be our x-axis. And this is going to be our y-axis. It's really hard to draw on these. Right, so this is going to be our y-axis. Thank you. All right, so for this point, I can come down. I see that it hits this 8 right here, -8. So my x is going to be -8. And then I can come over here, look for my y. So I'm going to go to the right because it's to the left of the y-axis. And I come over here, follow this line, and you'll see that it's 7. And that would be good for my table. Okay. Another way we can look at this is, say we want to find this one. We'll just count from your origin. So we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, -6. All right, so then my x is going to be -6. And we stopped right underneath of that point, and then we count up 1, 2, 3, 4. And my y is going to be 4. So that's similar. That's the same way as we did when we were just plotting the points. So you can use that same technique to find the points. All right, so let's do that again. So we would come over 1, 2, 3, 4, stop right underneath of it. We know that that's going to be -4 because it's to the left of the x-axis. And then we just go up 1. And that's going to be a +1. All right, so we're going to come out 1, 2, -2 to the left, and then we go down 1 and 2. So that's going to be another -2. Remember, negatives for y are below the y-axis. Negatives for x are to the left of the x-axis. All right, and last but not least, we have this dot, which is right here at this -5. So we're not moving left or right, so x is going to be 0. And we're moving down 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, which will be -5. All right, so again, if we're just creating a graph, right? Well, remember x comma y, 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 right? No problem. So then my x is -4, so that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, and my y is -5, so I go down 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, so I have a point here. My next one is -2, that's 1, 2. I go down 1, 2, 3. Then I have a 0, which means I don't have to do anything for my x. I don't have to go left or right, but I am going to go up 1. Now I'll tell you that these ones where there's the 0, whether it's in the x or y, will trick you. So just be careful. And then we go 1, 2, 3, 4, and then up 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we have a 6 and 7, so we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then we go up 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So remember, we walked 6 steps over, and then we took the elevator up 7 floors, I guess, or 7 steps. All right, or in this case, 7 units. All right, so these would be our points. All right, and another one where we're creating a table from the graph. So I'm going to start, and remember, I like to read left to right. That's how most of this math stuff works. So I'm going to read left to right. So I go 0 to 1, and I'm right on my point. So my x value is 1, and my y value is 0 because I did not have to move up or down. So now I want to come to this point. You can see that I'm going to move 1, 2, 3 to the right. Now I'm underneath of it. Then I'm going to go 1 up. All right, and then for for our third point, we're going to come 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to the right. Remember, starting at our origin, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's our x value. We're right underneath of our point, and then we go 1, 2, and we'll see that it's your coordinate pair will be 5, 2. All right, fourth one. We just count 1, start from the origin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now we're at our elevator. So we did 7 to the elevator, and then we went up 1, 2, 3. We went up 3 on the elevator. And that'll be your coordinate point. And last but not least, again, we're going to count. We'll get to 9, and then we'll go up. You can see that's going to be 9, and then it's going to be 4. So x is 9. We went to the right 9. We went up 4. All right, last but not least, which graph best represents the table below? All right, so now you're definitely going to see some of these, and these are going to be tricky because you kind of have to combine a little bit of everything. All right. Really, at the end of the day, all we're doing is plotting points. Even when we're trying to create a table, if we know where the points are, we're counting to where the point is. It's very similar to plotting. So remember our x. Oh, another thing to notice is this table is no longer vertical. It's now horizontal, which is fine. It's still, everything's still going to be the same. So we still have our x, which is going to be, you know, our graphs here. And then we have our y, which we know is going to be our graphs here. All right, and obviously those aren't perfectly straight, but you guys can make do. All right, so what we're going to do is we're just going to do some good test taking skills, and we're just going to test some points. So let me test my first point, right? That's going to be this -2, -5. So -2, -5, I'm going to come 1, 2 to the left for my x. And then for my y, I'm going to come down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you can see that this point is not on this line. So A is not going to be an answer. So we try B. We go down 1, we go left 1, 2, because it's negative. That's our x value. And then we're going down -5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So B's looking pretty good. Before I start testing all of these other ones, let me see if I can weed out some other possible answers. So C, I'm going to go 1, 2 to the left, and then down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, and that point is not on the graph, or not on the line, I should say. So that's not going to work. And then for D, I go 1, 2, and then I go down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And some of these you'll be able to tell really quick. Like, you know, I didn't even really need to go down 5 because I could see it visually. But you know, D is not going to be an answer. Now, my suggestion here, though, even though we weeded out 3 answers, and some of you got tripped up in the whiteboard over this one, but I would always check another answer or two just to be 100% sure. So if I know I go 1 to the right and down 2, I hit my integral point. That's where my integers cross, right? And you can see that that is on the line. And just for fun, I'll check 3, 0, because once you get used to the zeros, these will be the easier ones. So X, I'm going over 1, 2, 3. Y, I'm not moving up or down, so that is on the line. So my answer is B. All right, if you guys have any questions, feel free to hit me up during Raider Prep. Hopefully this wasn't too bad for you guys. Good luck, and I look forward to seeing you in class.